Hello again. We're doing another wet episode here, and we're looking at Strathcona Park Lodge's hydro system. And in this episode, we're going to have a look at the intake structure of our run-of-the-river hydroelectric system. So at Strathcona Park Lodge, we actually generated power before we had a hydroelectric with diesel generators. And they're very expensive. Like today's day and age, it would cost us at least $400 a day in diesel costs to run our backup power plant. We have one for emergencies. So that's just not sustainable to do that, and it's certainly not green. So we realized that right at that time, and one of the funny things at that time was we only ran the power plant during crucial hours, like 7 to 10 at night, and we turned it off. But that for modern tourism and guests and fire alarms and everything else, we had to actually go to 24-hour power. So we realized we had to do something, and we started this process of finding a way to scrape together a power plant, and we did it very much on the cheap. A lot of this, the metal pipe was all salvaged, and we hand-built everything ourselves, so it was done very cheaply, the overall project. You have to wait till it dries up, and this creek naturally is fully dry in the end of August. So if no storage at all. So there's an interesting aside I didn't even talk about, is when we did actually do this, there's a neighboring community with cabins that has 40 cabins, and they have water rights too, but the creek does not run naturally in mid-August through September. So by doing a little bit of work on the storage dams, basically replacing beaver dams, we're able to keep 12 months of water flow in this creek. And they actually get their fire protection water and their emergency water out of the creek too. So what we have here is what we call Cedar Creek in our area. It's about 2.5 miles to the lodge, or 4 kilometers probably. And this intake structure is 400 vertical feet, or a little over 100 meters in vertical height above the hydro plant. And the creek is, as you see, not a very large creek. We're seeing the overflow here. The water going down the creek is just a fraction of this much water here, so we're still quite high water level this spring going on, so we have lots of water to generate our power. It isn't a fish passable stream, so we didn't have to worry about fish passages. There's no natural trout in this creek. There's too many small waterfalls, so we're just in a section of creek where it comes cascading down over waterfalls, and we put a weir in here that just backs up enough water that puts it down a pipe to my left over here. It runs down a 12-inch pipe down to the power plant. And 25 years ago we put this in. We have a state-of-the-art, just about 3 layers of screen to stop the woody debris and leaves and things from clogging. Takes a fair bit of maintenance. In this day and age, they do have better intake screens on run-of-the-river hydro projects. But in this case, it's perfectly adequate. What we do is just a little more legwork to hike up and keep the leaves off it in the fall, and it runs fairly trouble-free. You can see the dam here. It's fairly just hand-built because we're not easy access here. It's built with gabion rocks and a little bit of concrete cover. And, it's fairly simple, I think, to put in this scale of hydroelectric plant in small creeks all around the world. They're getting popular in areas where they're going to cause very minimal environmental footprint damage and generate a significant amount of power. Well, at Strathcona Lodge, we actually we have, our plant when we're busy, which is, April through in October, we have a couple hundred people around every day. So this 70 kilowatts doesn't go very far. So we use all the power we can generate. We have systems in place that do that. But certainly in the summertime, when it gets hot and we have lack of water, we have to turn down our power plant to make sure we get 12 months of power. And that's been our goal for the last 5 years, is trying to manage our power very carefully. And at that time, the last couple of years, we find we can get down in the 60 kilowatt range and go to 1 jet on our belt wheel, and we can get 12 months of power by carefully metering the water out, the little bit of storage that we have.